welcome everyone to this presentation where I'm going to answer a question I get from a lot of people. So let me share my screen here, and this is the question I get. The question is, can we use the present tense to speak about the past? Now, let's start by reviewing when we use the present tense actually for present and future before we look at it for the past tense, right? So if I just now take you to the first slide, obviously the present simple tense, which is I do, he does, its main use is to speak about present facts, habits, and regular actions. So we've got some examples here. I work in a law firm. We don't live in a flat. Facts. She always takes the train to work. Again, a fact. He doesn't play tennis every weekend, talking about a regular habit or action. So I think that's pretty clear for everyone. Present continuous. I am doing, he's doing. Naturally, its main use is in the present frame and its actions currently in progress. For example, I am currently working from home, or he isn't playing tennis now. Now, another question keeps coming up, so I'm going to answer it now, and that's about the word always. Some of you have written saying that you sometimes see this word always used with the present simple tense and sometimes with the present continuous tense. How come? Because always is an adverb of frequency, and the rule says that we must use adverbs of frequency always with the present simple tense. So naturally, if we use it with the present simple tense, it's about an action that happens always, every time. It's a fact, like I always make the same mistake. But when we use this word, only this word, always, this adverb, not other adverbs of frequency, but just this one, with present continuous, it's about an action that doesn't happen every time, but happens too often, and is usually a little annoying. You're not happy with this happening so often. And then you will come across sentences like, I'm always making the same mistake. So notice the difference between the neutral, factual intonation of, I always make the same mistake, okay? And the more emotive, emotional way of saying, I'm always making the same mistake. So that's an important thing to remember so that you don't get confused when you see always with the present continuous. Before we go to the past, of course, we need to look at the use of these two tenses, present continuous and present simple, for future. And as we have revised recently, the present continuous is for future arrangements, something that you have arranged, you have a booking for, an appointment, a real fixed arrangement. And that's something like, I'm taking the train to Paris this evening. Now, within this context, if you speak about the scheduled event, then we use the present simple. My train leaves at 7:15. So that's all about the common uses of the I do and I'm doing forms, tenses for present and future. That was a revision. So when do we use this for the past events? That may be a little new for you. And sometimes you may hear it. It's not very common, not like the other two situations we've looked at. It's called narrative or historic present. And we use the present tenses, simple and continuous, instead of past simple and continuous, to bring the story, whatever happened in the past, to life, to make it sound more exciting, more engaging. You would have noticed this in jokes. It's very common when you're telling a joke to use this present tense, narrative present. Instead of saying, a man went into a bar and asked for a beer. The barman was serving him when suddenly, so using the past tense is quite neutral. We use the present instead of past simple, present simple. A man goes into a bar and asks for a beer, and the barman is serving him when suddenly, so the past continuous, changes to present continuous. This is the most common use. You may also sometimes hear or read about historical events in this tense. Instead of saying the French Revolution began and lasted, you can say, or you might hear or read, the French Revolution begins in 1789 and lasts until 1794. Now, you can use this tense yourself if you want, in describing, in relating or sharing your own personal events, but make sure that this is a really extraordinary, strange, and interesting event. Don't go using the present simple tense or present continuous tense, talking about the past in general. Please, absolutely must avoid that because you confuse people. So I wouldn't overdo this tense personally in my own speech. But if you hear someone else use it, then you know they are dramatizing their personal event. So for example, you can hear or say, "You won't believe what happened on Wednesday. I arrive at work at 9 as usual, and I see Simon standing in the car park. He is screaming at the top of his voice and kicking his car." So you're bringing this extraordinary, interesting event to the present tense to make it more engaging for your listener. Right, that's the revision of when we use these two forms. I do and I'm doing for the present mainly, for the future quite commonly, and very occasionally for the past. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. For more on this topic, click here. Remember to also check out my complete online course, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and happy studies!